Rolls Royce is at the pinnacle of automotive luxury, an undeniable symbol of status and success. This here is the Dawn, the two-door convertible in the lineup. It has a 6.6-liter turbocharged V12, making 563 horsepower and 575 pound-feet of torque, 8-speed automatic transmission, rear-wheel drive only, and a base price of over $300,000. This thing makes an S63 owner look like they might as well be on food stamps. So let's hop in and see what it's like. Special thanks to Platinum Motor Cars in Birmingham, Michigan for providing this vehicle and making this video possible. They have an amazing inventory. Check them out online. Check out this vehicle is for sale there. So, a Rolls Royce. This is my first time getting to drive one. I've been in a couple of them before. I've been around, and you always, when you see one, you are just in awe of its size, its majesty, the grace, and then the understanding of the pure luxury that comes with it being a Rolls Royce. There are very, very nice luxury cars out there, from Mercedes, Audi, BMW, even up to things like Bentley. But there aren't many things that can really challenge a Rolls Royce in terms of just straight up status, luxury, and just pure being the coolest thing out there. The Rolls Royce Dawn is technically related to the Wraith, which is a two-door coupe, which is then related to the Ghost, the four-door sedan, which is also then technically related to the BMW 7 Series, which underpins this entire platform. That 6.6-liter turbocharged V12 is sourced from that vehicle. That's not necessarily a bad thing per se, because it's still a very, very nice vehicle. We talked a little bit about the powertrain specifics, but this thing has a ton of power, but it's not delivered in the way you expect. If you have a 600 horsepower, 500 horsepower sports car, supercar, it's aggressive, it's in your face. This does not even have a tachometer. You don't know how many revs your engine is at, it doesn't matter. It has a power reserve. It shows you at 100%, because I have 100% capability, what percentage of power you're using. The chances that you're using all 100% probably slim, because Rolls Royces are not meant to be driven that way. That 8-speed automatic transmission is GPS guided in terms of it scans ahead on the road and determines whether elevations, turns, what is necessary to prepare it to change gears. So when it happens, it is the most smooth and comfortable way possible. That is just so over the top. When I first read about it, when it came out, I was like, you're doing what with your transmission? The suspension, air suspension, is supremely comfortable. It's adjustable in terms of height, but it isolates you from the road. This is a big vehicle. It may be a convertible, a two-door, but it's based off a 7 Series, so it is massive. Back when they had the Phantom Coupe and the Phantom drop head, those were truly gigantic. But I think the Ghost, Wraith, and the Dawn, the Wraith and Dawn especially, are better looking two-door versions. Proportions fit a little bit better. They're large, they're a little more elegant looking. Yeah, they can't match the straight up in-your-face gigantic luxury of a Phantom drop head with teak decking out back, but I think this is the better overall vehicle. And speaking of driving one of these, in the lineup, this might sound kind of oxymoronic, but this is like the sportier, the driver's Rolls Royce. If you have a Phantom, you should probably have a driver, but regardless, that Phantom is not going to encourage you to drive in any sort of aggressive or even remotely sporty manner. Honestly, the Phantom, if you've never seen one in person, it's approximately the size of a small crossover, or even a normal size crossover. Phantoms are enormous. The Cullinan is even bigger. This being rear-wheel drive only, a little bit more on the driver-oriented side. I think I read somewhere that most Ghost, Wraith, and Dawn owners drive their own vehicles. They don't have a dedicated driver. Part of it's the price point, part of it is the type of vehicle. But when you're cruising along, I put the top up for wind noise sake, but even the top down, the wind wasn't horrible. But it's 6-layered, super isolated. This might as well be a coupe. There is no wind noise coming in. The windows are up. It's laminated glass, all that fancy stuff. It is a serene cocoon of luxury. The seats are very comfortable. The air suspension handles very well. And then you've got the super thin steering wheel. It's very big. And when you first look at it and hold it, you might be like, this kind of feels like the steering wheel out of a city bus. But don't worry, it's not that feeling. When you're driving along, you just kind of cruise comfortably. Nothing disturbs you. I thought vehicles like an S-Class or a 7 Series were comfortable, those type of executive luxury things. This, I think, takes it almost a step further. The inside of a Rolls Royce is one of the highlights. It's where they spend a lot of time and money. Materials are very specifically chosen. Now, again, this is the Dawn. This is not the Phantom, which is just truly over the top. So I have a couple minor complaints. Let's get those out of the way. Again, this is BMW shared, so a lot of stuff you can kind of see BMW parts in it. This is very clearly an iDrive knob, and this is an iDrive screen and system with a skin over it for the Rolls Royce stuff. That kind of bothers me because I've spent a lot of time in BMWs and I recognize that. But everything else is is very different. Everything's very dainty and delicate and artistic. You see these turn signal stalks. They're very thin, and then like everything is very delicate, and there's so many details to it. Your air conditioning system, it has off, soft, medium, high, and max. It's not like there's different numbers. No, it's the level, how intense you're having the air blown at you. Rolls Royces have rear hinge doors. They're kind of known as suicide doors. I don't think Rolls Royce likes that specific terminology. I think they refer to them as rear hinge doors. But when you open them up, they swing out. They're pretty dang wide, actually, because, again, big, long vehicle. Well, there's buttons up here you press, and the doors close themselves. I can actually control both the passenger and driver's side door with buttons on the side right here. Exterior styling wise, I absolutely love the Rolls Royce Dawn and the Wraith. As I mentioned earlier, I think the proportions and the size and overall dimensions work a little bit better than the frankly gigantic Phantom coupe and the drop head. And I just love how unmistakable it is that it is a Rolls Royce. You've got the Spirit of Ecstasy hood ornament up front, which is retractable, and if somebody tries to steal it and grab it, it'll automatically retract itself down into the hood. This thing, long proportions, I mean, it looks so amazing, and there's so many different specs and colors. In the convertible, with the top up or the top down, it looks just so elegant and so freaking baller. Because it is a Rolls Royce, we have to talk about how luxurious it is. And it's very, very comfortable. Just driving along, you're very relaxed, you're very isolated from the world. It's got plenty of space up front. Headroom, obviously, visibility is great. The back seat also, you don't lose that much. I've sat in the back of a Wraith, I think, for, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes, and I was fine. I had enough leg room. Headroom was pretty good. So it is usable as a four-seater. You don't give up that much of it going from the Ghost into the Wraith or the Dawn. You get so much attention too. People will look at it, and it's not like the attention you get from driving a loud supercar where the doors go up or anything. People just kind of look at it and be like, whoa, okay. The feeling of looking out over the very long hood and seeing that Spirit of Ecstasy hood ornament is really, really cool. As you can tell, I'm very excited. It's my first time driving a Rolls Royce. This is the symbol of success. You have made it. You have done something truly remarkable and accomplished something great. You have moved up from your BMW, from your Mercedes-Benz, which are great cars, but this is the whole next tier. This is a different level. And it's more than just the tangible, the physical, actual, objective things that make it necessarily better. It's some of the intangible, the associated aura that comes with it being a Rolls Royce that commands its price point, that commands the feeling that comes with it. Because in some ways, a brand new Mercedes S-Class has more modern tech, maybe. That type of stuff, but that's not the main purpose of it. That's not what you get one of these for. We have to talk about value. Now, these things started at over $300,000. They were very, very expensive vehicles. I mean, it has a twin-turbo V12. There were so many different options available, too. You could go absolutely crazy with your leather. There was like this wood trim called like Macassar wood or something that was absolutely beautiful. You could see the grain. There are endless ways to make your Rolls Royce absolutely bespoke, customize, and make it a work of art. They are extremely expensive. They are for somebody who has a lot of money. But they also depreciate like any other high-end luxury car. You can get one of these for under $300 now, so 200. This one has 12,000 miles. I believe it's listed for just over $260,000. And it's hard to justify unless you're in that price bracket, because if you look at it, be like, I would take an S63 coupe plus a Porsche GT3, and I'd have two really cool cars for the price of one of these. But this is for somebody who doesn't have to make the decision. They go, I already have my Bugatti Chiron. I want a Rolls Royce for the weekends to go to picnics with the top down or whatever, and enjoy the sheepskin rugs or something. Value is not a consideration for the clientele of a vehicle in this price point. I remember there was some sort of statistic, the average new Rolls-Royce Phantom buyer has $30 million in liquid assets. Not talking net worth, just liquid assets. This is the 1% of the 1% of the 1%. Now, if you want to get one of these used, yeah, all right, that's how you would do it. I don't know at what point in my life I'm going to be able to afford a brand new Rolls-Royce and be that type clientele. Obviously, that's my goal, but to be able to experience it, you can get a used one like this. And honestly, I think the fact that it's shared with BMW a lot of parts might be helpful in terms of getting things fixed up and repaired and hopefully reliability. Now, I do remember hearing that Rolls-Royce is planning on moving away from that part sharing, because I don't like when people say, oh, it's just a 7 Series underneath. So they're engineering their architecture of luxury, which underpins the Cullinan, the new Phantom, and eventually I believe will extend to the rest of the entire lineup. They don't want to have a car up in the air and people look underneath and be like, why are there BMW badges underneath my Rolls Royce? At the end of the day, this is a reward for a well-lived life, someone who has done something great, successful, and it is truly a very enjoyable experience. Driving a Rolls Royce makes you feel successful, makes you feel powerful, even if you aren't quite those things yet. I am not at the level of success that will allow me to afford a Rolls Royce, but having been cruising around in this thing, being around it, I've had a huge smile on my face. I am relaxed, I am comfortable, nothing disturbs me, I'm isolated from the world. And I think out of all of them, I think this is the one I'd like to drive. The top, with the convertible top up, I'm isolated, it's quiet. I can put the top down up to 31 miles an hour, it goes down in 22 seconds. They call it like the silent ballet as it descends. And then you have top down enjoyment, feeling the sun on your face. All the luxury stuff, it's got some of the more modern technology into it now. And at the end of the day, you're driving a Rolls Royce, and it's pretty freaking awesome. Thanks again to Platinum Motocross for making this video possible. Make sure you check out the inventory. Thanks for watching, guys.